It's ESPN LA 710. Max and Marcellus.
Yeah, talking Max. Yeah, talking Marcellus. Taking over Cali, now everybody jealous. Yeah, talking singer with Mario on the beat. Your rating's too short, you can't be talking to me. Yeah, I'm talking Kobe, show him the 5 rings. The illest show on radio, nobody touching we. If you want that 101 to the 55 to the 45 down to the 60, OC to the IE to the Valley, now roll with me. Who with me? Vamonos. All my dogs and essays. Turn it up on 710. Yeah, we run in LA. Marcellus Wiley and Max K. 3 to 7 every weekday. Miss Evelyn, how you do today? You got a skirt. What she say? The illest show. Max and Marcellus is top of the totem pole. It's the Kid Freeze. Yeah, and that dude. We taking out your suckers. I don't mean to be rude, but you ain't messing with my click. Click, click.
I'm a barber, man.
Click. Ain't nobody fresher than the 710. Click, click.
You better get at it.
Click, click. Max and Marcellus, boy, we got the click.
If it ain't nappy, I ain't happy.
Click, click. Max and Marcellus, we the number one click.
Never slip on your pivot, player.
Number one click. The number one click.
You know what happened to Justin Bieber, right?
I heard about it. Let me find out.
Never slip on your pivot, player.
That's what happened. He slipped on his pivot.
What are you talking
Look,
about?
Justin Bieber's whipping his Ferrari around the neighborhood. Keyshawn Johnson's getting out of a party. Got his kid with him.
Right.
Key, what's the kid doing at the party?
Well,
you gotta have Key on the show and find out.
Maybe it was a kid party.
Oh, 7 p.m. All right. So you no doubt.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I've been and Bieber goes whipping through the neighborhood.
But we don't know at what speed. So when you say whip it through a neighborhood,
Fast enough to alarm Keyshawn.
but time out, you know how that goes. Like the context of you can't drive over 25 miles an hour to school. But if you're going 35, you don't feel like you're going fast. Just saying, in a neighborhood, 35 miles an hour could seem very fast.
I've been on both sides. Anyway, Keyshawn in a Kia, not in a Kia, in a
Prius.
In a Prius.
Yeah,
in a Prius.
Kia.
In a Prius, he chases down Justin Bieber in his Ferrari.
He ain't catch him now.
And he wants to talk to him, and Bieber goes into his house and won't come outside.
Yeah, he blocked the Ferrari in the driveway so he couldn't get out. Then he goes up to the house trying to, speak to him.
I've been on both
as a
sides
neighbor.
of this as a person, as a younger man with a nice car.
What the hell is going on?
Sorry,
Hey, you need to play Boyfriend. If you're going to play a Justin Bieber song.
Mario's got sound bed Tourette's right now. Yes.
No, Boyfriend is the banger. This song, all right, but I love me some Boyfriend. I ain't going to lie.
All right, it's enough. Right? So seriously, I've been on both sides of this.
Oh, you going to get serious now?
I've been on both
Justin
sides
Bieber?
of this situation. As a young man with like a fast car, I've whipped.
What
through
kind of car?
residential-
Hold on. We talking about Ferrari here now. What you talking about? But yours.
Okay, I was 25 years old or something. I had a Lexus 450
That move.
or 430 at the time, GS 430.
That got up there.
Listen, back then 300 horses. This is going back 14 years or whatever.
I'm with you.
Anyway, the point is that I'm not against you. I'm with you.
Keep going. You ain't got no Ferrari money, but keep going.
But the point is that I know what it's like. I still go fast. I drive fast. You want to go fast, whip through residential neighborhoods, save a little time, whatever. But this happened to me recently. I was going through a residential neighborhood pretty quickly, and a guy came out and was like, gave me the hand signal like, hey, slow down.
Right.
And when you are in that situation, even if you're annoyed by it, it's like, hey, mind your business, I'm driving safely. But it's a residential neighborhood. There are kids around there. The only proper response is you just put up your hand like, my bad, my bad, and you slow down.
If you can swallow the ego in that moment.
No doubt. But there have been times where I was like, what? Because I really wasn't doing any, But generally speaking, even when I'm like, what? I know I'm in the wrong. I know if they're
What
kids
if no one's in harm's way?
If someone feels alarmed enough to tell you to slow down in a residential neighborhood, it's because they got kids. Usually it's when the kids are around. They could go darting out of a car. You could wind up hitting. By the way, it could even happen if you're not driving recklessly.
Right. That's true.
So when someone gives you that, the proper response, it's not that if the guy's bigger than you or you feel in danger. It's because the right response is, okay, my bad. I've also been on the other side of it where I've seen someone whipping their car too quick around a situation, around an area where my kid is, and I pick up my kid and I give him, even in a garage or something, and I give him the hand.
Hey, slow down, buddy.
Yeah, it's not. I give them the hand, and when they don't give me the proper reaction,
what you want to do?
I feel like if I could get my hands on them, we're fighting. If I got my kid with me and you give me an attitude when you're whipping, because when the shoe's on the other foot,
right.
I understand. Look, the point is the safety, especially where there are kids involved, right? So Keyshawn's with his kid. It's his neighborhood. If Justin Bieber wants to whip his car all around, go get your own piece of land and do it. But this is a gated community. You're not the only one there.
Right.
He felt alarmed enough. I haven't spoken to him since then.
Okay.
But if he feels that he needs to track the dude down, it's because he felt alarmed enough that he was driving recklessly and putting him or his kid in danger.
Yeah.
That's not. And for Bieber to disappear inside the house, that's not an issue of Key's bigger than him or he's going to whoop his butt or anything like that. That's like, even if Key is a little dude and Bieber's a big dude, the proper reaction isn't to hide or to give anyone some attitude or anything like that. The proper reaction is, my bad. I got the Ferrari. I'm whipping it, but you're right. There are kids around. I apologize. I hear what you're saying. That's it. It's not about you being in danger. It's about you being in the wrong.
Okay, let me add some layers to this because everything you said is dead on, so I can't really argue with that. I've been, as you said, and not to say the same thing, I've been the guy in the Ferrari actually doing that.
In the actual Ferrari. You had Ferrari money.
Yeah, actually getting in, going too fast, and I knew it. But I never hit anyone. But at the same time, I'm also now the one who have seen – it's not so much if your child is –
You ever have someone be like, hey, slow down?
Yeah.
And what do you say?
They do it right now. Most of the times I look at them like, okay, I acknowledge what you're saying, but a lot of times people are paranoid in that moment to me. Like, there's no one in harm's way, but you just don't like my speed.
Right.
You don't like what I'm doing. But I know what they're really doing. What they're really saying is, I have visions of my child being in that same place.
Right.
And if you come at that child with that same type of speed and reaction,
right, like this time no one's in danger, but
no
this
one's
is
here.
And it's really a territorial thing. It's like, look, this is where we live.
This is where we're
It's
at.
a community where people might be in the street. We don't want that in this community.
Yeah, I run the same stop sign going home every day.
See what happens if you let little white guys in your community? There goes the neighborhood.
But, I got this one neighbor. I see him every day, almost every day, at this stop sign. We got the dumbest stop sign in our neighborhood in the world. It's not even a T stop sign. It's a one-way stop sign. So my direction, you're supposed to stop. But why? I see the cars there. The other direction, there's a house there, so you can't go that way. You either have to make a left or a right. I'm like, I see all of the hazards here.
So you do a little rolling stop.
No, I don't roll. I just go through it because I'm like, what do you mean?
But there's a reason there's a stop sign there.
Because somebody just got bored and wanted to break up the flow between the two places.
No, that's not how it works.
That's not how it goes?
No, they put a stop sign because there's some element that you haven't considered most likely where there's a dangerous situation. They want you to slow down at least. If it's a situation like, look, when I see a stop, I never just run a stop sign straight.
Even in a shopping mall?
I don't run a stop sign straight.
And no one's there?
If you see that there's no one there at all, you can.
That's what I say I do every day.
But what I do is I do the rollings, the California stop.
Okay.
You kind of roll through it, you check real quick, and you keep going.
Yeah.
Call the California stop for a reason.
I don't hit my brakes, but I stay off the gas a little bit. I was like, all right, let me get off the gas real quick. Let me check this out.
But
right,
if someone jumped out of the bushes and was like, hey, and with their kid, and was like,
you jump out the bushes with a kid.
The point is when people
somebody need to get hit.
When people do that,
bushes?
They're really saying this is where we live.
I know,
You're driving recklessly. There are children here. Almost always it's about kids.
But let's add some layers here. Now,
he had his kid with him.
Okay, let's speculate, but let's add some layers here. Justin Bieber. Now everyone's saying he didn't stop because Keyshawn's big and he's chasing him to the house. What if Justin Bieber was, let's just say, as he has been accused of before, impaired? Mm-hmm. Whether it's alcohol or
something else, paranoid.
Yeah. And
by the way, you know what I love about all this before you get into that? Mm-hmm. I love the fact that all this news came out about Justin Bieber over the weekend. He makes people who go to his house sign a form.
$5 million.
He'll sue you for $5 million if you talk about it.
It's smart to do that.
And I love the fact, though, that he has no control over this. Like, he wants to control every little thing. And now everyone's talking about reckless behavior. There's nothing he can do.
That is a great point. Yeah, even though that's so smart to sign that waiver. Anyway, Max, what if he's impaired? So he's like, I can't stop. Even though, you ever been in this situation? I am wrong. I want to admit I'm wrong, but I don't want to admit a bigger wrong.
Yep.
So therefore, he's just trying to get home. He knows anytime he's outside, someone's going to come, is going to take notice, take offense, bring attention. He may be in trouble for more than just speeding through a neighborhood and brushing alongside a car that Keyshawn's
If he was impaired somehow and driving the car, it makes it worse. And the best thing is if it serves as a wake-up call. Like, by the way, I do that now. If I'm pinched for time in L.A., and who isn't when you run into unexpected traffic, man, I whip my car. Mm-hmm. And I think to myself, Max, and I'm just a competitive person, right? So I always I don't like anyone in front of me. So I have to constantly tell myself, calm down, slow down. You know,
You're right.
You're going to wind up a paraplegic. You got kids. You know, I have to. So, and I'm not impaired when I drive. I just am a competitive person, right?
Right.
So if Justin Bieber is that way, or is in
because you
addition
don't
to that,
drink and drive.
No, never.
Like you have one drink, you're like, I don't want to drive right now.
I'll drink one. I'll have one drink.
Okay.
I won't even have two.
Okay. See, I've been in a situation. Have you ever been behind the wheel and you're like, damn, I'm not drunk, but I don't know if I'm legally impaired or not. Have you ever been to the point where you're like, because I've heard that I've never had a DUI, but people who get DUI say that they don't feel drunk, but they get a DUI because
I've never drunk enough. I've never drank or smoked anything.
Right.
If you smoke anything at all, you know, an intoxicant, you shouldn't be driving.
You shouldn't be.
If you have more than one or two drinks, you shouldn't be driving.
Right.
I've never come to that border and thought, am I good enough to drive? If I feel that way, I don't drive.
Okay, exactly. That's why I got a driver. But here's something that a California Highway Patrolman told me one time, because this happened actually to a teammate that actually forced me to get a driver. He wasn't legally drunk, but he gets into a hit and run, a parked car at 3 a.m, Max. Think about this. And there's no one out there. So imagine you hit a car and it's 3 a.m. and you have some drinks. What do? You
got to keep going because you're in big trouble if you stop.
Exactly. And to me, that just reminded me of Justin Bieber, or Justin Bieber reminded me of that. It's like, I wonder if there was a bigger fish that he didn't want to fry.
Yeah.
So therefore he said, I take the embarrassment of Keyshawn barricading me in my own home. It just sounded like
Of
that
course, the
to
responsible thing to do is stop, write a note and everything. But
Right.
but when I say you got to keep going, I mean realistically, very few people are going to stop in that
let me
situation.
give y'all a tip about him. He also told me this. If you do write a note, you can write a note, put it on the windshield, and if it just mysteriously blew away, you wrote a note. You get the point? So you ain't got to really write a note because you can say you just blew it away.
Max and Marcellus, ESPN LA.
ESPN LA 710. It's Max and Marcellus.
You should really have some good taste buds with that nose.
By the way, I do. I have very sensitive taste buds for the size of my nose.
My nose is big. I'm not ashamed.
Let me tell you something. You got bigger nostrils than me.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
If
mine are longer, yours are wider.
Here's Max Kellerman and Marcellus Wiley.
Let's take this call, Marcellus. Let's take this call.
Damn.
Justin in Simi Valley. You want to talk about Keyshawn chasing down Justin Bieber and Justin Bieber cowering in his house?
Yeah, man. He had to have been intoxicated. I had a situation where I was in a residential area, and I was the one that threw up my arm at a guy speeding down. And I had children out there. We were all playing basketball out front. And as soon as I raised my hand and said, hey, man, the guy just put on his brakes and went right into reverse. And just to prove some kind of point, the guy jumped out and was screaming at me. He was just had to have been drunk anyways. And all I did was, let him know he had to slow down. But the guy had to have been drunk. One thing that
I love that. So he's speeding through your neighborhood. You got kids out there, and he wants to get out like he wants to fight.
My wife was behind me carrying our newborn, and the guy had tunnel vision, just looked straight at me.
Right.
Like nothing fazed him that there was children around. I told him.
How many guys you have with you?
Oh no, it was just me by myself, man.
Was he bigger than you?
What that matter, man? It's time to fight for your kids.
No, when someone jumps out of the car and starts giving you that, you got to fight.
You got to fight.
Got to fight.
I completely disagree.
Nah, I wouldn't fight either, but I disagree with the premise.
That's when I could fight him with words. He could barely speak anyways.
He got his kids there, too, man. You can't be fighting in front of your kids. Somebody just drive by.
And Marcellus,
I don't see why not.
We're all guilty of the California roll, and that's why they changed the definition, the abbreviation. It's slow to observe police. So, I think we're good in California.
Yeah, matter of fact, I got stopped by a cop in Beverly Hills about 2 years ago, and I was doing the California roll through most of the stop signs because there wasn't anyone there, and he stopped me, and he's like, you know why I stopped you? No, well, you were blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and he was, he recognized me from the radio, I think, or something.
True.
But I was happy he stopped me. I even told him, I'm like, look, I live in this neighborhood and I got a kid. I'm glad
Yeah, but
I'm glad he stopped me. What can I tell you? Because
call this rebellious. There are some dumb stop signs out there and some dumb stoplights. There's a stoplight right on the corner of my house before I even go up the hill.
Yeah.
Max, there are times where I'm there for 5 minutes and there's not a car coming. I hit it. I make a left as soon as I
5 minutes. Why are you there for 5 minutes?
Because it's Laurel Canyon and it's a long light for everyone going up and down Laurel, but
I
not
see
my
what
way.
you're saying.
I ain't staying there for
No,
that.
that's
I'm
all right.
hitting it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, well, then that same thing with stop signs.
But in other words, the light is there. There's no traffic coming from either direction.
Yep, same with
and
that
you
stop
stop
sign.
at the light as though it's a sign, and then you look, and when you see no traffic, you go.
I'm out.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, well, don't have no problem with my stop sign.
But that's different. No, that's different than just whipping through a stop sign without even checking.
Woohoo! Let it whip.
The first thing I did was I called the police on him, gave him the license plate number, and
Snitch.
told him he was drunk.
Snitch.
No, actually, that's the best.
No, that's smart. That's smart.
I've done that before. I've called the cops when I was on the road and gave him a license plate number when there was a dude like going to Bristol, Connecticut. There was a dude swerving all over there was about to be someone killed.
Right.
Maybe this guy who was behind the wheel.
Right.
And I thought just get a cop to pull him over immediately.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
2 snitches. All right.
2 snitches.
2 snitches.
Looking. Somehow I bet you're the biggest snitch there is.
Damn right. I haven't called the cops yet, but I certainly would.
Yeah.
I haven't been in this situation yet where I'm sitting out front and something like that happens.
Yeah, I don't even think it's like the thing with Justin Bieber. It's not that Keyshawn is the bigger dude, and it's that what I don't like about all that is if someone's like, "Hey, slow down," you just apologize. If someone feels like their kid is in danger because of your behavior, you just be like, "My bad." All right, look.
Yep. Can't own up to it.
We got to go. Back tomorrow. Max Marcellus.